What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Justice League Unlimited issue number 9. This is the We Are Yesterday epilogue. This one's written by Mark Waid with artwork by Dan Mora. And this is right after everything that just kind of went down. They defeated Gorilla Grodd, but they're faced with another problem where various DC characters are displaced throughout time. Airwave is still missing, which really affected Mr. Terrific. In fact, it takes kind of two Mr. Terrifics to kind of figure out how to get him back. And there's still the question of what to do to Grodd. But then you have Time Trapper Doomsday and the brother of the Monitor and the anti-Monitor known as Alpheus, I think that's how you pronounce it, shows up, and so like we have a problem right here. As the builders, it is my job to maintain its integrity. The Omega energy Grodd has tampered with is now growing, infesting all areas. We fear powers on potency, blah blah blah. Very bad stuff. They have to kind of stop things, and so they pretty much kind of come to a like, hey, look, we got to like rip this thing out of Grodd right now. They basically have to like kill Grodd in order to kind of unleash the energy that's kind of lingering within him to kind of set things right. That's kind of the gist I get going on in this thing. But you know, the heroes are heroes, so even like they're villains, they still try to save. But you know, it creates a problem, and eventually it kind of leads to a big battle right here with different heroes from different eras. Now, there's some I kind of recognize, others I don't, where they're from. Like I remember this version of Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern from World's Finest, because that was like the first arc that was there. We had, which was a really cool moment where they kind of fused together and formed this super awesome version. And then, of course, like I said, you got like Azrael, Batman, different cameos, different things here. So I guess if you're more well-versed within the DC world, and I consider myself a pretty big DC fan. I mean, I've covered enough comics on this channel. Like, I mean, I've done like a few hundred videos on it, but even I don't remember everything. I mean, DC has such a long, expanding lore and history. It's really tough to keep up with everything. Like, I'm more well-versed in certain eras and certain different types of characters, but I do my best, and you know, I can't say I know everything, because I really don't. I haven't read everything. There's large chunks that I haven't, but you know, I try and, you know, do what I can to try and keep up with things. But there's so many different versions of different characters, it's hard to kind of keep up. And it is a very busy issue, because you're not like, okay, which version of which is that? Like, is that in this continuity? Is this thing? It would be nice if they had little like icons that popped up, like Batman of this thing, Batman of this era, remember this, remember this. It would make it a little bit easier to kind of distinguish. So while that's going on, Mr. Terrific, well, we also do find that one of his weaknesses, when he's emotionally invested in something, he doesn't think quite as clearly. That's where the younger version was able to figure things out, because he wasn't as emotionally invested in the current airwave. So he's able to start to think of things logically and just basically kind of locks on and pulls them out, and he's good there. Grodd also gets kind of taken away by Alpheus and Gorilla Grodd, or Alpheus and Time Trapper Doomsday, and the heroes are like, no, and then he's just kind of gone and whisked away, and they were kind of like a little bit upset about that. Now, there's still different characters kind of displaced in this time period, it seems, or it's a little chaotic and all that too. But we also have the ending of the issue where it's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Batman talks about, it's like, hey, it's about this incarnation of the new league. In our rush to assemble it, we made a catastrophic error. So there's some sort of error going on with Batman, and is ready to talk to Superman about the whole thing. It's like, Justice League didn't seem to work again this time. This is like the 4th or 5th time we've kind of redone it since DC Rebirth. But yeah, it's not working. Remember we had the Titans doing it and they just retired? Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. Let's bring the Justice League back. We kind of screwed up again. Man, it really just doesn't seem to be working out for the Justice League in this day and age. But all things considered, I thought this issue was just kind of all right. I guess if you wanted to see Alpheus again, I can't remember the last time I was in something, or I'm drawing a blank on, where did I see him? Did I see him in Superman? Did I see him in something else? I don't know. Like, I haven't seen that guy in like comics in quite a long time, unless I miss something in the last like 10 or so years. Because there's so many titles to keep up with at DC. It's like impossible like to keep track of them all. Even if you have the DC Infinite app, like I feel like they haven't even been updating that like they should. So they got that going on. But the story like this, there are a lot of characters and a lot of different versions, so it is a bit busy to kind of follow everything that's going on, and then the story with the Omega energy and all that. Like, I kind of grasp it, but you're dealing with wacky, crazy science, so I just kind of try and roll with it. I personally like it when it's like don't have like an infinite number of characters, unless it's like some sort of big event, and you can kind of focus on the group dynamics. Like, okay, I know each character, this version of them, it's easier to keep track of. But when you have so many different like moving pieces and so many characters, it is a tricky balancing act, and it just kind of makes it harder to like invest and stay following with what's going on in it sometimes. So, but all things considered, I thought it was kind of an all right issue. Didn't really wow me or anything like that, aside from Dan Moore's incredible artwork. It just was a very busy type story, and sometimes they'll just kind of take me out of it. That's my personal opinion. So what did you think of the issue? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. Got one more DC book to cover, and then I should be all caught up in time for this week's new comic books, and hopefully I'll be able to like maintain being caught up with stuff, because I hate falling behind on stuff. It just tends to seem to happen to me a lot like the last few weeks, but we are getting there. We're going to get better. I promise you. So, all right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video.